And welcome to Illini Drive here on WPGU 107.1 on this Monday, January the 22nd. It is 6:01 right now here in Champaign-Urbana. I'm Maury Benatar, joined alongside my trusty cohorts, Will Gerard, Jake Hassan, and Tommy Polson. Always fun to have the team back together for another edition of The Drive. But also joining us, we have Roland Illini co-host, AP writer, Daily Illini writer, Daily Illini social media man, referee at the Arc.
He does everything.
He does everything. He does everything. We have James Boyd in the house. How you doing, James?
Did you say official?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I guess you call it official referee. Wherever
okay,
floats
my
your
bad.
boat, Will, but we're here to talk a little basketball.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk a lot of basketball.
Is there a game tonight?
There is?
I think so.
Yeah, I think... Hello. We're not on a mountain, man. It's good. Yeah, there's a game tonight. Illinois is hosting the 6th-ranked Michigan State Spartans. It is a big task. You could play the John Malkovich intro to the AFC Championship for this game, too, the whole David Goliath thing. It kind of
That was awesome.
No, that was cool. I like that a lot. But it fits. Illinois is a huge underdog in this game. They're on a 5-game losing streak, coming off probably their worst performance of the season, losing by 25 at Wisconsin on Friday. 10-10, 0-7 in Big Ten play. The last time men's basketball, football, or women's basketball won a Big Ten conference regular season game was when Illinois hosted Michigan State last year on March the 1st, when Malcolm Hill and LaRon Black led the Illini to a big victory against the Spartans. We all thought they were going to the tournament, and then they lost to Rutgers, lost to Michigan in their practice uniforms, and then it all kind of died down.
Actually bad.
Man,
Actually bad.
Why you got to bring that part up? I was feeling good after you said the Michigan State part. I remember
But
that was an awesome game.
It was an
And
awesome
then
game.
You're about to drop that Rutgers and Michigan game on me.
Yeah, but the real question
Disgusting.
is this, James, is this Michigan State team this year better than it was last year?
Yes.
I think so. I think they're just loaded. I was looking at the roster. They got 4 guys averaging double digits and points, and obviously you got 2 guys that are probably going to go in the first round of the NBA draft this upcoming year. So they're looking good, and you can never count out Tom Izzo, who I believe just up there with any other coach in NCAA basketball, and he gets the most out of his team every single year. When they don't really have a lot of good, I guess, high talented profile players, but this year they have the players, they have the coach. Seems like going to be another deep tournament run for them, and tonight's not looking too good for Illinois.
Yeah, everyone's expecting a big loss for the Illini to go to 0-8 in conference play. I mean, with Michigan State, it's hit or miss when it comes to the tournament. I still remember 2015, they were 7 seed. Denzel Valentine was their best player before Miles Bridges came. They got to the Final Four. The next year after that, they were 2 seed. Everyone loved them, and they lost to Middle Tennessee in the first round. So this year, you have Jaren Jackson and Miles Bridges.
I would argue, though, that the reason why we've seen those, kind of down years, per se, is just because Michigan State's always in the tournament every single year. And that's why Izzo's teams, all of his recruiting classes, wind up making it to the Final Four at some point.
Well, I think with hit or miss, I kind of mean more that either Michigan State makes the Final Four, the final, or they get bounced in the first 2 rounds.
I will say, every single year, I always have them going deep in the tournament. So, if they do get upset early, that really just, messes up my bracket.
Yeah, it's unlike Duke, usually Sweet 16. Yeah, they lost to Mercer and Lehigh this decade in the first round. Kansas is having a bit of a rough patch. They've lost some second-round games recently. But more about the game at hand. This game seems like too much for the Illini. Michigan State's ranked. They're a really good team. If Illinois pulled off the upset, it would be insane. This is really their first true home game since the Maryland game because all of Orange Crush is going to be packed. It's going to be a loud crowd. Ayo Dosunmu is going to be there. You're going to have the iGlow app after the national anthem, so the stadium's going to be lit, literally. But
Ori's just killing it these
That's a
last
great
2
comment,
weeks.
Dad. Great comment, Dad.
Or he's sounding like a parent here. We can't have any fun. Or with the lights.
James.
Come on.
James. Last Wednesday, as the sign off, we got Keep It Real to end the show.
never
And
doing that.
he usually,
Keep it real, Champagne.
Yeah, there
he
you go,
usually
there you
nails
go.
the sign off. It's so smooth, it's crisp, and then
Yeah.
he I don't know what happened. His brain just malfunctions. And keep it real.
That was
there
still-
was no.
That was still better than my sign-off Friday for our show. we had one of our professors on, and I finished the conversation by saying, "All right, see you later, Stretch." Cut off there.
I still think mine was the best. I still think Hit the Music was pretty good.
Ooh, that's
The
pretty
one
tight.
time you hosted. this
Yeah,
year.
best show of the year.
Best show
Well,
of
of 2017. But
Okay.
whatever, it's fine.
But anyway,
Not to
so
brag.
well, first off, is anyone here actually picking Illinois to win tonight?
It depends what jerseys we wear. If we wear those old white
throwbacks?
throwbacks, we have a chance. If
Okay.
not, I don't know about that.
I'm putting everyone
I'll hop
else
on that boat.
But I'm putting all of you in Michigan State. I mean, is Michigan State winning this game? Are you convinced they're going to win? Is there any way Illinois can win?
I can't make a decision.
I think
until
they are,
see their
simply
jerseys.
because it's just hard to find any consistency out of this Illinois
time
team
decision.
beyond Trent Frazier and LeRon Black on the offensive end. I know Mark Allstork and Greg Eboybolding, is that how you say it?
Spicy G.
Spicy G. They're
Please
playing
show
really
res-
good on the
please show
defensive
respect.
end, and they're giving a lot of energy, but it hasn't translated into points and into like getting points on the board. And against the Michigan State team, you have to be able to score. And Michigan State had a lot of size. Underwood talked about that at practice yesterday, so we'll see how they respond to it. But I think it'll be around a 15, 17-point game.
Yeah, 15, 17 points sounds about right. It could be 20, but I still think that the key people for Illinois, you got to have the Mark score. That's the bottom line. Mark Smith and Mark Allstork need to put up more than 5, 6 points. Mark Allstork put up, I think, 0, or he put up 0 in the first half against Wisconsin. He's averaging 3 points a game in the Big Ten. Allstork's averaging around 7. But with Michigan State being such a daunting task, Indiana on Wednesday, looking at the rest of the Big Ten schedule, where do you see the Big Ten wins coming? Which teams can Illinois upset this year? They got Michigan State twice, Ohio State on Super Bowl Sunday, Wisconsin again,
Indiana's a decent chance, I think.
and they're playing them twice.
I think Wisconsin at home as well. I mean, obviously, it happened. The rest of the guys showed up in that last game, which kind of led to that disgusting performance. But I don't think that that matchup's really as lopsided as it usually would be this year. I think Underwood will kind of get him ready, adjust that hap, kind of hopefully get Finke going. You mentioned how you think the marks are the key tonight. I think a lot of it's going to fall on Finke. Because if we get the Finke that can actually go out there, get 10 boards, get 15 points or so, if we get that, then it's going to be a lot better than I think most people think this game is.
Yeah, because I see him as kind of the, not in terms of like skill and what he does, but he's kind of the Draymond Green of this team in that if he scores points, Illinois plays better as a team and
Yeah,
usually
I can see
wins.
that.
If
I
he
like that
scores,
comparison.
they play well. Because if Draymond scores for the Warriors, they're going to put up 150.
Yeah.
If
I like that.
If
I think that's pretty good.
Finke's scoring 20, 22, Illinois is going to put up close to 90 with their high-powered offense. And if they need to hit threes, though. They got to hit threes.
Yeah, I want to say, I think Underwood threw out a stat yesterday. Like the last 2 games, they're like 4 for 32 on 3-pointers. So that shows you how dry it's been behind the arc. But beyond that, I think they have to also work to get good looks, driving kicks, and not just settle. Sometimes you see that offense get a little stagnant. Trent Frazier.
French Frazier, baby.
He gets the
Illinois
ball.
Stein's new recruit,
Frazier.
French Frazier.
No, but he gets the ball sometimes, and it's late in the shot clock, and it's like, okay, well, now you got to shoot the ball. But I think they have to run good offense and try to get some inside-out action and then take open looks from downtown and see if that works. But, again, it's the mighty Spartans.
Who are losing a game or two here or there. They only have 3 losses, but Ohio State killed them, and Ohio State's a shocker.
Still
this
number
year.
6. So.
Yeah, I mean, number 6 in the country. But
Are they
there's
6? I thought they were 9.
No, they're 6 now.
Moved back up to 6
Yeah,
this week.
today the rankings came out. I mean, there's no definitive really best team in the country. You'd say it's Villanova, Virginia, Purdue's in the mix, Michigan State maybe, but Michigan State was a preseason top 2 team. They're going to be real good. But I think also for the Illini, they make teams uncomfortable by forcing turnovers. They average, 18 turnovers a game?
Something like that.
Yeah, they're like top 20 in the nation. So if they can, like against Wisconsin, they might have had like 10 or 11 turnovers. If they can get Michigan State to force like 20 turnovers or so, they could win this game, potentially. But you need big nights from all your big scorers. You need Trent to score. You need Mark Smith and Allstork to maybe hit a couple threes. You need Finke to be on. You need LeRon Black to hit his 95 mid-range fadeaway over 10-foot tall people like he always does.
Maybe
Yeah,
some
you-
productive minutes from Kipper Nichols.
Kipper
too.
Nichols needs
Yeah,
to
you just
start
need everyone to
being
play
productive.
their peak performance that they have
You know
all
what I
year.
want?
It's not a lot to ask, folks.
It's
Just
the-
everyone to play
I'm
their
John
best
Maddening
game of
it.
the year at once. It's fine. It's
me-
not that much to ask. I don't
Give me
think.
5 Kipper dunks instead of when he gets to the rim and just tries to kind of throw it up there. Because he seems to like to do that a lot. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, he makes
You
his
guys see what I'm
layups
saying?
harder than usual.
If he just finishes with a nice little dunk, I think that he could easily put up 15, 20 points tonight.
Yeah, honest to God, he's kind of been like the forgotten Illini this year.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be the guy, most athleticism, got a big body. You expected more from just from versatility, but it hasn't been there. But again, this is the type of game, if you're the Illini, you're looking in the mirror like, okay, no one's expecting us to win this. Maybe our home fans are, but beyond that, no one expecting us to win. So go out there, play loose, but have some confidence and kind of lean on Trent because Trent has a lot of confidence.
They
A
have nothing
win
to
could
lose right
definitely
now.
turn the season around big time. the first ranked opponent of the year. So,
Yeah,
like,
why
And it would be Illinois' first win against a ranked team since beating Iowa in the 2016 Big Ten tournament. So back when we were freshmen, me and Will and Tommy,
I wasn't even here.
and Jake was in high school.
yeah, you dweeb.
Hey, we were getting golf state championships, all right?
Golf stage.
Just kidding. We came in 8th out of 12.
Oh, hashtag golf school. But other questions that I'm kind of pointing out. I mean, Aaron Jordan started off the season like a rocket, just hitting everything. He still has a 52% three-point percentage, second in the conference. He's been kind of cold lately, but is Tijan going to play? He's missed the last 2 games. He might miss the third. He's been in violation of a team rule. We don't know what it is.
Did he play against Wisco?
No, he
That's
missed
3 straight games then, I think.
No, he missed Iowa. Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's
Iowa,
3.
Nebraska, and Wisconsin. He's missed 3. So will it be if it's a 4th straight? That's a big loss because you need Lucas to kind of supply some assists, get people some open shots. Because right now Illinois doesn't really have a backup point guard.
Yeah, I think that'll definitely be one of the bigger questions after the game, whether he plays or doesn't play. Because if he plays, it's like, okay, what happened? Why is he playing now? And if he doesn't play, it's like, why isn't he out there? Because you look at Trent, and he's been playing very well, but you need kind of that experience from Tijan. He's been in some big games so far, and he usually has some good poise about himself, and he usually knows to get the team into the offense. So we'll see. But again, without Tijan, it kind of puts a lot on your freshman who's already doing a pretty good job. I mean, Underwood's comparing him outside of Trae Young to being one of the best freshman guards in the country.
Yeah, Trent Frazier probably all Big Ten freshman team as you're listening to Illini Drive here on WPGU 107.1, brought to you by the Illinois Fighting Illini. For tickets and info on the Illini, make sure to go to fightingillini.com or call 1-866-ILLINI1. As we're here with James Boyd of the Daily Illini and the Associated Press and the ARC and everything else at the University of Illinois, probably a teacher here too.
Baller.
And a baller. He's a baller. Best basketball player on the staff probably, no question.
Didn't win the staff championship, though.
He didn't. And we needed him for kickball, though. You missed the kickball tournament.
Yeah, that was a tough loss.
I was dedicated to Rolling Illini, so shout out to Will Gerard, my buddy over there, and Ryan Wilson. That takes precedent.
We could have won if we had you.
Good little heads up would have been nice, too, other than
I know. We thought you were
other
coming.
than when we got there, Taji just goes, yeah, James isn't coming. Oh, cool.
But what kind of game do we actually expect? I honestly could see a carbon copy of the Maryland game. Start off slow. Underwood.
Yeah, that's bad. Why would you say that?
I don't want
Not.
that.
I never said.
Come on.
I never said carbon copy result. I said carbon cop. I meant carbon.
I mean,
copy
I think
as
it's
if-
kind of implied when you say carbon
Yeah.
copy.
No. Okay.
Carbon copy, but except just the last
But like
part.
not the same thing, but like a
Yeah. Okay.
Carbon copy 99% all the way up to
Fine.
the
A
end.
boron copy. It's the other element before
God.
carbon.
Come
Chemistry
on.
joke.
What are
I
you
know.
doing?
I'm dadding all day. Anyways, but I could.
I'm gonna see you guys later.
I can expect this game to be a slow starting game. Underwood gets his guys going, but I think the crowd's really going to help. The crowd's going to get behind them. If they're down by 9, if they're down by 7, they're going to start hitting shots. We saw that happen against Maryland. We saw that happen against Tennessee Martin. Because honestly, Illinois really hasn't had that many games this season that were true home games. The only ones that I can think of were Orange Crush had a big presence. The Southern game, which was a blowout. Tennessee Martin, 3-point win. Then they had a bunch of home games during Thanksgiving. Then Maryland, Austin P and Longwood, no one really came. This is like their 4th home game with everyone there. And all the home games they've had with the crowd behind them, they've had stints where they've been playing like they could be the 5th or 6th best team in the Big Ten.
Yeah, one of the points that Underwood was making as far as being at home and everything, he was saying it'll be good for them to kind of get back on, Lucas Court and get in front of their classmates and whatever. But one of the things he pointed out was that they have to be able to make a shot when they start to miss a little bit. He was saying it's either one way or the other. They make a lot of shots or they miss a lot. So he was saying the goal here in this game tonight is to come out, if they miss a couple, be able to at least stick one in, get a bucket, and not have it just cave in and collapse and then turn into an onslaught from Michigan State.
Yeah, can we even think of a game this season where there's been kind of a middle ground where the Illini have been hitting
Maybe Mizzou.
shots, beating Mizzou?
Maybe Mizzou.
That's probably
even
the best
that wasn't
game.
consistent.
Yeah, even
the whole
Mizzou,
way.
it was just mostly like it was a collapse, and then at the last minute they happened to save it.
Mizzou missed open shots that game. I mean, that was a big reason why Mizzou lost, is they were missing a lot of open threes. They started well in the first half, but there hasn't been that middle ground yet. And it's already to the point of the season where you're getting close to February. The season's ending a lot earlier than it usually does, or ending in February 25th is the last regular season game. Big Ten tournament starts at the end of February, so it's a month away. Postseason's,
I know. I was looking at this.
postseason's a month away.
There's what 11 games left.
Yeah.
I just counted.
Actually bad.
Yeah.
Not good. I mean,
So when
I mean, we could still go 21-10, but
the look on James.
I'm not
possible.
saying we're doing that. I'm just saying it's possible.
Of course
I mean,
it's
Underwood
possible.
started 0-6 in the Big 12 last year, 0-7. Why not just make a bigger run?
Juwan Evans is not on the Illini, so I like to just point that out. And I love my boy Tommy, but
No,
he's a homer. He's a homer.
No. I never said it's gonna happen. I never said it's likely to even happen.
is it?
I'm just pointing out the facts here. I'm connecting the dots.
The 0.2%
dropping the stats.
possibility of them running the table.
Hey,
I like the confidence.
why not, baby?
Well, my
I
question
mean, hey,
is,
if everybody plays as Ori said, if everyone plays their best game,
Their
peak
peak
of
level.
their career,
Yeah.
at the same time tonight, they just carry that momentum. It's possible.
I mean,
just continue doing that for 11 games. Then just ask a little bit more.
Realistically, we'll only win like 9 of them. So like,
well, how about realistically?
I'm joking with that. Okay.
No,
too.
I know.
Yeah, okay.
But
Just
can
didn't get the reaction that I was expecting.
But can this be a game where Illinois finds that middle ground? Is
I hope
Michigan
so. I
is
mean-
Michigan State too good for the Illini to have a consistent game where they're not bricking shots for 5 minutes, or they only go 10 minutes in the game where they just hit everything and then they just completely collapse and cave in? Is this Michigan State team too good for that to happen? Because it seems like there's so many underdog teams in college basketball that do get these wins, but the Illini just aren't one of them.
I don't think it's that. I really don't think that even has anything to do with the opponent. I think it's all kind of really been self-inflicted. I mean, you look at these Maryland games, you look at the end of Nebraska, you look at Wisconsin. I mean, sure, they're good teams and they can win games against some very other good teams, but I mean, a lot of these losses have been because of their own mistakes. It's not something that the other teams just being so overwhelming, you know?
Yeah, I think one big factor in this is that it is at home, so maybe they'll have a little comfortability being in their own gym. Not saying it hasn't translated into what people have wanted it to be as far as Illini fans go, but I think being at home for this young team against an opponent like this is a lot different than going, to East Lansing and playing them there. So.
The game in East Lansing, that could be a tough one. I mean, the rest of the teams coming to State Farm Center. Indiana Wednesday, Rutgers next Tuesday. That Rutgers game is going to be really exciting, I think, because Rutgers has had Illinois' number for the past couple seasons. They've played some really incredible games. 2 years ago, they had an overtime game in Piscataway. Last year, Rutgers beating the Illini in the same venue. Wisconsin's coming, Penn State, Nebraska, the last home game, February the 22nd against Purdue, who could... We don't know. They could still be a top 3 team by that time. They maybe will lose a game or two, but
Purdue's playing ridiculous.
Purdue's
right now.
playing ridiculous, and they have big guys. But I think also we have to realize that the Big Ten is pretty even this year. There isn't one team that's obviously the best team. Michigan State, Purdue are really good. Michigan and Ohio State are also playing really good. But even the lower tier of the Big Ten, it's not like Illinois is so much worse than the teams with them, like Iowa and Penn State and Indiana, and Wisconsin, who aren't having good seasons.
Yeah.
Because Wisconsin, January 19th, a 10-10 team. Your first blowout loss is in your 20th game with this young of a team. That's something to be optimistic about, I think.
I think with the Big Ten this year, there's kind of like 3 tiers where it's Purdue and Michigan State above everybody else. I think it's those two. You can make a case for Ohio State and Michigan maybe, but I think those two are kind of in like a second tier right below them. I just think Purdue and Michigan State, they have the players that can really make one of those big runs that you might have expected from Michigan State to start the year. And Purdue's, although it's kind of surprising, I mean, you look at their roster up and down, they're unbelievable.
Yeah.
But then you look at like an Ohio State, Michigan, also very good teams. I mean, obviously both in the top 25, but I don't think that they can consistently contend with a team like Michigan State and Purdue. And I think there's everybody else who, don't get me wrong, like the records don't necessarily show it, but I think that any other team could beat any of these other teams on any given night.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio State dominated Michigan State
Yeah.
over just to start the new year. If Keita Bates-Diop continues to play the way he's playing for the Buckeyes, Ohio State could go far, and they could win the Big Ten tournament, and they can get far in the NCAA tournament. 'Cause
They're up to 16 today. I mean, that's a legit
13.
team. 13?
They're 13th now.
Wow.
They're playing Nebraska tonight at Value City, or the Shot, as we call it, in Columbus. So Keita Bates-Diop is the Big Ten player of the
How
year
does
right
that
now.
work out? How do you get?
So Value City Arena,
So you got the horseshoe and the shot.
and the center is the Schottenstein Center.
Oh, okay.
So
that's fair.
we call it the Shot. Schottenstein's a very wealthy family that lives in Columbus.
Thank you for educating these hooligans over here who are criticizing your nickname. You know, I believe in you, Ori.
Thank you.
James, let me tell you something about how this show works. Anytime Ohio gets brought up, this side of the desk will take any and every opportunity to nitpick it and just kind of pick it apart and see what we can find. That's how this show works.
And then Will over here is supporting me, right?
For the most part.
No.
Every once in a
Will's
while,
usually a
I have to,
50-50,
like, make
I'd
fun
say.
of Cleveland, yeah. I'll stand up for you if it's, like, warranted, I guess.
I'll stand up for you and
Okay.
be your friend if it's warranted.
I'll
It depends
take
on
it.
how nice you've been to me recently.
I'll take it.
Not even that. I mean, sometimes you guys just really lay it on them.
Yeah,
So, like, I have to
yeah.
back
Yeah.
up a little bit.
I'll
It's
take
just-
it.
Most of it is unwarranted. It's
Yeah.
kinda
It's just so easy.
It is easy.
so easy.
I'll admit it's easy. But last question for James before we
didn't
take
say
our
that.
first break. Who do you expect to have the biggest game tonight
not say
for
it.
the Illini?
I think Trent will probably have the biggest game because I'm looking at the Spartans' size on the inside. I don't think LeBron's going to be able to get off a lot of shots. I think they're going to key on him a lot. So I think that will lead to a lot of outside shots. And I think Trent is getting a lot better at the change of pace in the middle of the lane. You know, lobbing passes and switching gears to get to the rim and the pull-up jump shot. So I think if he gets that going, he'll have a good game tonight.
I'd say Trent, like James said, Trent's the easy pick. I think that he loves these big moments. He wants to step up tonight in the big game. I could easily see him dropping 25 tonight almost.
Yeah, I can
Something
see
like
Trent
that.
playing well. I think Laurent Black is destined for a good game. He always plays well against Michigan State. He did last season with Malcolm Hill as his primary scorer, and I think he will this year also with Trent Frazier. But I think a decent performance.
I'll say Michael Finke.
Finke? Okay. I think Finke can do well. But
It's
he's
fine.
Yeah,
It's
he's kind
fine.
of hit or miss. But
I'd love to see a big game from Finke
I
tonight.
think if it's a 15, 12-point game, depending on how Illinois plays, I think that's a positive result.
This
Yeah.
is a bold prediction, but I think we're due for a breakout performance from Aaron Jordan. It's been a while since
I'd
he's
like-
really gotten
That'd be good
many
to see.
looks from
Kipper was
three-point
my
range.
second
either.
4, 5 threes, maybe, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty nice.
You know what I think it is, though? I think it really comes down to just scouting because he doesn't get the looks he was getting in non-conference. People just know who he is. And, you know, everyone's growing up. You play AAU basketball or even, when you were, 6th grade. Shooter. He doesn't get any air. But if they get any penetration tonight and he's able to get some looks, he'll knock them down. He can definitely shoot. I played against him in high school. Fun fact, he used to crush us. Shout out to Romeoville and Plainfield East. But he's been a shooter. I mean, I remember first meeting the kid. He was getting shots up. He's been shooting that well since he was probably in 8th grade. So if he gets some looks tonight, he'll nail them.
Well, speaking of Romeoville, you can follow James Boyd on Twitter at RomeoVilleKid. Check out some cool content from him. We thank James again for joining us on the show talking a little basketball. We're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll get a quick Illini recap from our reporter Matthew Goldstein and also talk a little bit about the newest coaches hired by Illini football that happened on Friday. We return to Illini Drive right here on WPGU 107.1.
You're watching Illini Drive on Urbana Public Television. Tune in Monday nights at 6 p.m. to listen live on WPGU 107.1.
Good evening. I am Matthew Goldstein. Time for another edition of the Illini Weekend Recap. Women's basketball's losing streak extends to 8 with a 44-point loss to Michigan. Alex Whittinger and company look for their first conference win tomorrow night at Penn State. Number 4 ranked men's gymnastics defeated number 9 Arizona State at Huff Hall. Bobby Baker won 3 event titles in the victory, including a nation's best 14.9 score on the vault. Men's track and field finished 3rd out of 4 teams and had 5 individual runner-up finishes in Lincoln, Nebraska. Devin Quinn won the 60-meter sprint title with a time of 6.69 seconds, the 3rd fastest in Illini history. Women's track finished last place in Nebraska. Wrestling defeated number 21 ranked Purdue by winning 6 out of 10 bouts yesterday in West Lafayette. They were led by freshman Dylan Duncan, who won his 4th bout of the season. Women's tennis beat Florida State and Eastern Illinois in a doubleheader yesterday at Atkins Tennis Center. They will travel to Chapel Hill for the ITA kickoff weekend. And finally, women's gymnastics fell in a close meet to the 3rd-ranked Michigan Wolverines. Illini sophomore Ray Balthazar won her first career all-around title at Huff Hall, along with her first career floor exercise crown. That was your Illini Weekend Recap. I am Matthew Goldstein, Daily Illini Sports.
Thank you, Matthew, as we return to Illini Drive here on WPG 107.1. Ori Benatar with Will Gerard, Jake Hassan, and Tommy Polson. Going to talk a little Illini football right now. Friday, the news finally hit that the Illinois football staff finally has hired an offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach in Arizona assistant Rod Smith. He spent 6 years with the Wildcats. He's been a coach for 22 years. He replaces Garrick McGee, and he's quarterbacked some decent guys in college. Khalil Tate, very good QB last year for Wildcats. He was West Virginia's offensive coordinator when Pat White and Steve Slayton was on that team, one of my favorite college teams ever.
That team was so fun.
Awesome team. Too bad they didn't win the national championship that year. But you got Rod Smith coming in as offensive coordinator, but the one that Illini fans got really excited about was Corey Patterson coming in as the tight ends coach from Trinity Catholic in St. Louis. Which hire do you think will have the biggest effect on recruits, and which one do you think will have the biggest effect on the field?
I think it's easy to say that Patterson would have a bigger effect on recruits. I mean, obviously, he comes from a school that has a lot of great players in the works that are hopefully going to be interested in Illinois a little bit more now that he's here. But at the same time, I mean, Smith's got a pretty good recruiting record in terms of like guys he's brought in, what he's done with them. I think he's easily going to be the number one guy in the field in terms of those two, especially like where he makes the immediate impact. But I mean, they're both going to be great hires, I think, and they're both going to bring a lot to the table. Obviously, there's going to be a little bit to like time to adjust and kind of hopefully put in a new system, get everything worked out with all the guys we got on staff still. But I mean, it'll be interesting. I'm excited for both of them.
I am too. I think they're very good hires. Rod Smith, though, has got a big challenge up his sleeve, only having one scholarship quarterback to work with throughout winter and spring before MJ Rivers and Karan Taylor eventually get here for the fall. But you notice the quarterbacks, Pat White, Khalil Tate, these guys are mobile, sort of like Cam Thomas, but I think Cam Thomas has a bit of a stronger arm than those other guys do. So, Jake, what kind of style of offense do you think Rod Smith's going to adapt? Does Lovey force the pro style down his throat maybe, or do they try and be a little bit more creative with the mobile option, run some option plays?
I mean, with Cam already here and MJ coming in, you would like to think that Lovey could break his mold that he's had for across his coaching career, really. And you would think that he hired these guys because he maybe knows that he's not creating a good enough offense, so someone else has to be in charge of that. But I just feel like he's not going to change his ways, and that's kind of not going to help. But you would love to see it change and be tailored towards the mobile quarterback, because that's what Illinois has right now.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I obviously, I mean, if they think that the pro style is best for the offense, then so be it. But I don't see it that direction. I think that they have enough talent and athleticism on the offensive roster currently that they can make a really cool, good, effective spread offense. And I would assume that that's where Smith will go with it.
Do you think we'll see the kind of effect that we saw maybe in the NFL this year when Goff and Wentz kind of had these breakout second years in the professional leagues with good coaches for their style, like Sean McVay coming to L.A., making Goff a great quarterback? The Bears are trying to do that, and I saw that in your article that you wrote today, kind of having that right coach for the system. Is Rod Smith the right guy to make Cam Thomas into a decent, good Big Ten quarterback?
I think he very well could be. I mean, obviously, Thomas wasn't built for really the system that they ran last year, and I mean, he didn't necessarily comfortable. He had his games where they effectively used him. He ran the ball a little bit, kind of scrambled, got out of the pocket, did what he kind of felt comfortable with, just more or less instinctual stuff. And I mean, there's no doubting the athleticism's there. He's got the arm, he's got the legs. He could be a very good quarterback, I think. And I mean, after having a good winter, having a good spring with the new coaching staff, I think that it could be a really good fit next year.
I think Cam's already decent.
I agree.
I think
he's already solid.
I think if you get the right system for him, he can be elevated to good, or like, I don't want to say great, but really good, a really good Big Ten quarterback.
Yeah, I think the thing he's going to work on the most over this semester is working on seeing through finishing routes, letting receivers finish their routes, and also trying to see double coverages and try to get a little bit of an idea of what zones teams are running against them, because against the Big Ten, obviously, you're running zone a lot. There's not a bunch of man that's happening in college. So if he's able to kind of harness his arm and be an accurate quarterback, that helps enable him to run the ball a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the option with your quarterback should usually be pass first, unless you have like Michael Vick or Randall Cunningham, a guy that's just athletically touched by God and is just fast as hell and is able to just go through defenses like it's nothing. if Cam Thomas learns how to throw the ball really well under Rod Smith, and I think he will, I think he can get the best out of him. We're looking at an Illinois team that might not be way better than this past team, but I think they could maybe
Better
get
than 2 wins.
I think they get 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Well, and the thing is, Illinois is already built for mismatches with Dorsey and Smalling and Epstein. Like, those guys can all mismatch with a defense.
Even
and, like, you
Bonner.
can use them in different ways.
Yeah.
So,
You've got
I mean,
the weapons are there.
right. Epstein, you can even split out wide and have Bonner in the backfield on his own. Like, you can do so many things with all these different weapons. So, if, like you said, if Cam Thomas can become adequate, he's already adequate, but good at throwing the ball placement, leading guys, then that creates a lot of potential big plays for Illinois' offense.
And besides the football aspect of it, you're looking to Rod Smith and Corey Patterson and Lovie Smith and Hardy Nickerson, all the coaches, to take this opportunity to be a little bit more, father figure, teacher, mentor type coaches to these players, because a lot of guys left who are upperclassmen. There's
Yeah.
going to be a lot of sophomores that are going to be leading a lot of units next year. Cam Thomas is going to be leading the QBs. You're going to have Epstein and Bonner leading the running backs with Corbin in there too. Smalling and Dorsey and Dudek leading the receiver core. Bennett Williams leading the defense. There's going to be a lot of young guys that are going to have to step up and be kind of the leaders of the team. So if Smith and Patterson, do you think they bring that to the table? I think they could.
I think it's a good thing. I mean, obviously you're kind of focusing more on the coaching aspect, which, again, I do think it's a good thing. I think that they're guys who are qualified, especially you look at a guy like Patterson who's coached in high school. And I mean, he's used to dealing with these younger kids. I mean, that, what was it, Trinity Catholic he came from, I believe?
Yes. in
They were
St.
always
Louis.
a powerhouse every year. And I mean, you look at somebody like that, and I think that when you look at how well all these young guys, especially the freshman group like Bennett Williams and all them, like Dorsey even, I mean, they had amazing years last year.
Yeah.
And obviously, you don't like to see these upperclassmen leave. I mean, a guy like Tito going to Miami just shows how talented some of these guys are. But I mean, these guys are ready for this next step, I think, and I think these coaches are only going to help that out.
I think it's also next season's also still going to be kind of a process year for the most part. But 2 big hires for Illini football: Rod Smith as the offensive coordinator, Corey Patterson out of Trinity Catholic High School going to be the tight ends coach, coaching Lewis Dorsey, who some people are saying is one of the most talented tight ends in the Big Ten.
He's a freak.
He's amazing, fast, large guy. If he learns how to block, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Unbelievable hands.
It's going to be
Yeah.
great hands too. Take another break. When we come back, we'll give a quick little score update, and also we'll all have our reactions to yesterday's Championship Sunday. We got a Super Bowl matchup, and we'll talk all about that and more when we return to Illini Drive right here on WPGU 107.1.
You're watching Illini Drive on Urbana Public Television. Tune in Monday nights at 6 p.m. to listen live on WPGU 107.1.
And welcome back to Illini Drive here on WPGU 107.1. Here is a quick little score update. The Chicago Bulls are playing tonight in just about 20 minutes at the New Orleans Pelicans, trying to win their 5th game in the last 6.
Why?
More Big Ten basketball.
Literally
tonight.
why?
Yeah, okay. More Big Ten basketball tonight. 13th ranked Ohio State hosting the Nebraska Cornhuskers, also at 7 o'clock. That game will be on BTN. The Illini-Michigan State game will be on FS1, and reffing that game will be Ted Valentine, so look forward to that. Chicago Blackhawks are in action tonight at 7:30, hosting the Tampa Bay Lightning in a 2015 Stanley Cup rematch. The Hawks have lost 3 of their last 4 games. Some tennis.
Lost 3 in a row.
Tennis in the wee hours. Rafa Nadal will play his Australian Open quarterfinal today against 6th seed Marin Cilic of Croatia. Jason Kidd, head coach for the Milwaukee Bucks, no longer. He was just fired today. And also a soccer result. Swansea City, last place in the Premier League, defeating Liverpool 1-0 on a last-minute goal. So moving on now to a little NFL football. Championship Sunday. We saw the Pats do what the Pats do, come back and win games. Jags kind of blew it. And the Eagles and Nick Foles, reborn.
Nick Foles gave the Vikings a wedgie for 60
Ridiculous. I mean, 38 unanswered points. Foles, vintage Foles, back when he was throwing 7 touchdowns a game. Crazy that this wasn't even his best game of his career, and he threw for almost 400 yards and 3 touchdowns in the NFC Championship. So Super Bowl 52 is set in Minneapolis. It's going to be the Patriots against the Eagles. New England in their 10th Super Bowl, trying to win their 6th as a franchise, which would tie the Steelers for the most. And we got the Eagles trying to win their first ever Super Bowl in their 3rd attempt.
Wait, I just saw the Liverpool loss today.
I just said that.
I know. I was looking.
Thanks for listening to the show, Tommy.
I saw it because I looked when I thought
Yeah.
I heard you say that.
Premier League's unpredictable.
Swansea?
Liverpool beats the best team in the league, and then they lose to the worst team in the league.
That's stinky.
incredible. But yeah, Pats Eagles Super Bowl. Will, you excited for this one?
Nope.
Okay, why? Want to elaborate on that a little bit?
I mean, I don't really care. I mean, I feel like the Patriots are just gonna win again, honestly. But like, it'd be cool to see Alshon Jeffrey get a ring, I guess.
He did say
That would have
he-
made his prediction correct.
Yes.
Very true.
It's not very specific. He was using unclear pronoun references when he was.
What was
making
his
that
prediction?
He just said we.
Before he left the Bears, he said, "We'll win the Super Bowl next year. I guarantee it."
Yeah.
Okay.
But hey,
Whatever.
one thing people are
You
noticing.
know he's gonna say, "I told you all last year."
Yeah. Patriots are 5.5-point favorites. That's the biggest, Eagles' biggest underdog in the Super Bowl for quite some time. But one thing people are saying are in the Eagles' favor. They got a 4-man rush. Fletcher Cox is a good pass rusher. So historically, if you rush well against Tom Brady, if you pressure him, he loses
That's what they
Super
said
Bowls.
about the Jags,
I was
too.
about to say, remember when we
That's-
said that this week about the Jaguars?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
That's literally what they said all week about the Jaguars.
True.
That Dante Fowler Jr. and Calais Campbell and Smoot and all these guys, they had the pass rush to get to him, and they had the safeties in the secondary. And then what happened?
No, it's Tom Brady. It's Tom Brady.
That's all that matters.
I mean,
It's still Tom Brady.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Brady is on.
What'd I tell you?
He's on an incredible path.
Career.
Yeah,
Incredible
and
career.
He's,
He's
pull-
on an incredible.
he's pulling his. He's trying to pull his own little Michael Jordan. Jordan won 3-3 twice. Brady's trying to do the 3-4 twice. He did it the first 3 times he did it, and now he's trying to win a 6th. Crazy to think that when Brady won his first AFC championship, it was the Patriots' 3rd Super Bowl appearance. Now it's their 10th, 12 years later, 16 years later, actually, because the first Super Bowl was in 2002, and now it's 2018, and Brady's about to play in his eighth Super Bowl. I mean, you just don't see that in modern sports ever. Bill Russell, 11 championships with the Celtics. That's never going to happen again in professional sports. Tom Brady is 3 appearances away from tying 11 in modern NFL.
It's impressive to have like an 8-year career in the NFL, let alone make 8 Super Bowls.
And be
That's unbelievable.
And be also the first ever Super Bowl starting quarterback at the age of 40.
How old was Peyton? 39?
Peyton was 39.
And Brady's just, I mean, Peyton had a poo arm that year.
Yeah.
He had a rubber hose for an arm.
Like after the surgery, his second year with Denver, he was
That was-
lights out, threw 55 touchdowns. Then his last 2 years, he kind of just,
that was
I mean,
disgusting.
his
Yeah,
defense
I
carried him.
Brady's just still slinging it. Like 40
Brady looks better than ever.
Yeah,
I know.
No tomatoes. I'm off tomatoes forever. Like that's it. I'm done.
You're not going to eat pizza ever again?
Nope, I'm done.
Oh, yeah? All right.
I'm off
You're
there.
not going to have spaghetti? A little spaghetti?
I'm not a big spaghetti guy as it is.
Spa? Are you trying to say spaghetti?
What?
Always Sunny reference.
Oh, I thought you were actually asking me right now.
No,
I was like,
no.
Pretty
No,
sure I said
was making a little
know.
Always Sunny joke. I'll let you know after the show ends.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I know what you're talking about. I get it.
true. But how do the Eagles win this game?
They don't.
I mean,
They don't.
They just don't.
They
You have
don't.
no.
They don't.
There's no way they win. What
If there was Carson Wentz in this game, unless Carson Wentz gets a new leg sewed onto his body and plays this game,
I don't even think it's that. I just think, I think it could be Wentz. I think that if Foles has the same game as he did last week, even, I just think that there's no chance you're beating Tom Brady in this game.
The only thing that I can see in the Eagles' favor is if they are able to build a big enough lead like the Falcons did last year.
why would you use that example?
How'd that go for the Falcons?
But Doug Peterson is a coach that doesn't take his foot off the gas. The Eagles don't kind of go conservative when they have a big lead. They didn't do that last week when they're up by 3 touchdowns. Nick Foles, his 3rd touchdown pass was a flea flicker 50-yarder when they were up by 3 touchdowns already. And they scored another touchdown in the 4th.
I'll agree with you there. The Eagles do pour it on.
I think the only way that the Patriots lose if Brady's hand is as bad as people were trying to say it was, which obviously didn't show last week, but possibly he got hit a few times. If his thumb's really bugging him or something like that, maybe if Gronk doesn't play at all.
No.
But I expect Gronk to play.
I still think even if Gronk doesn't play, I think the whole Gronk factor doesn't make any difference. Because
Okay, that's a little.
Gronk didn't play all of last year, didn't play in the Super Bowl, and they still won. No matter who's receiving
But
for
to
Tom
say it
Brady.
doesn't make any difference.
This
though.
Patriots team wasn't as dominant as they were last year, though.
True.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think their defense was much better this last year than they were.
I
this
mean,
year.
yeah, Gronk is the security blanket. Zach Ertz is the security blanket on the Phillies.
And they also had Edelman last year too. They don't
and
have
Edelman.
Edelman right now.
I mean, but you have Amendola, you have Chris Hogan, you have Brandon Cooks,
Kenny Britt.
Sure, Kenny Britt, whatever. James White could have the game. But another thing that I'm thinking about is also it's indoors in a big stadium. If you get past midfield with Gostkowski and Jake Elliott being the kickers they are, you could see some long 50-yarders in this game.
Shootout, field goal shootout.
I mean, Jake Elliott kicked a 61-yarder outdoors in Philly.
Like probably one of the best kickers of all time. That just only helps the Patriots, I think, honestly.
Yeah.
How old is he? It feels like he's been around.
Gostkowski's like 35. Jake Elliott's like 25.
Yeah.
I mean, Jake Elliott's a really good kicker.
Steven Gostkowski still boots it.
Yeah,
He's 33.
Yeah, I don't expect a lot of punts in this game.
Oh, he's actually going to be 34 in a week.
Yeah,
Well, 6 days.
6 days. So he's gonna have a birthday right before the Super Bowl.
Good for him.
Memphis guy.
Nice.
Do we expect a good game? Every
No.
time Tom Brady plays in the Super Bowl, it's a good game.
I'll say it's a good game, but it's.
I mean, what'd you say the spread was? The line?
5.5 right now.
I think Patriots are easily covering that.
I think they'll cover
I
it.
bet you it's 2 scores.
I think they cover it, but it's probably just gonna be from Tom Brady throwing a touchdown in the fourth quarter.
I think it's 2 scores.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He's never won a Super Bowl by 2 scores.
Yeah, but
Ever.
I think this is a different year. I think that the Eagles are. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's very impressive that they made it this far. It shows how resilient of a team they really are. And I mean, maybe I'm just not giving them enough credit, but I just think that when you look at this Eagles team versus a lot of the former opponents that Brady and the Patriots have faced, I just think that they're gonna dominate. They have so much experience, and they still have Tom Brady and Belichick.
I think the Eagles are a better team than the Falcons last year.
Yeah.
Really?
I think so.
I think if they
I
have
think
wins,
they are.
maybe, but I don't think that with.
I think
the
their
quarterback,
their defense is better. Eagles' defense is better
That
than
Falcons
Atlanta's.
D was really good.
It was really
but
good. but
Phillies is really good.
Philly. No, I'm with him on that. I still even think that. I still think Philly, even on offense, outside of the quarterback factor,
But that's a
I
huge
think,
factor.
But
Especially in
I'm
the
just saying.
quarterback-
I'm just saying.
like
Look
a
at
Super
look at
Bowl.
what else. I'm saying that the wide
Imagine-
receivers are probably just as good, if not better, than the Falcons. Because Julio Jones didn't do anything in that Super Bowl.
Okay.
As a whole receiving
Yes.
core, Philly is better with Jeffrey and
Running
Aguilar
backs
and
are
Ertz.
Ajayi and Blunt are just as good as
I'm not
Freeman
ready to
and
say that.
Coleman.
Better than Freeman and Coleman.
Freeman's
Not better
pretty
than
good.
Freeman solo, but
Yeah.
combined Blunt and Ajayi and Karen Clement and no Darren Sproles. I mean, Eagles have lost so many of their best players. Jason Peters, Hall of Fame left tackle.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're very beat up. I think that going into that Super Bowl game, maybe overall, if you look at maybe the peak of both those teams, then I'll give you Philly's better. But I just think that the team that they played last year, I think, was better.
Yeah.
I do think you aren't giving Philly enough credit.
That's fair.
Because
I could be
think,
very wrong.
I think you're thinking too much about the Carson Wentz thing, and then the injuries as a whole.
Yeah. I mean, Foles is probably the best backup quarterback in the league.
Probably.
I'll say that. I mean, I think he probably.
Okay.
Jimmy G used to be.
Well,
Right,
but he was
but-
always going to be he was always supposed to be a starter anyway.
yes. And
Yeah.
he's
I think
undefeated.
Yeah,
I think Foles,
I'll give you that. Yeah,
maybe Keenum.
I just think
Right.
anytime the Patriots are in the Super Bowl, I mean, last year on the show, most of us thought, oh yeah, Pats are taking this easy, no problem. Some people said the Falcons, but we thought Pats taking it easy. Matt Ryan never played in a Super Bowl. Everyone thought Atlanta had. While Belichick's got 2 weeks to prepare, yes, that's a huge advantage. But
Yep.
the other team does too. The Eagles have enough time.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah, but Doug Peterson's a good enough coach.
He is a good coach.
They have
He is
enough
good.
time to try and figure out the Patriots, and I think obviously the one thing they're going to make sure of, if you can get Brady out of the pocket and you can sack him 5 or 6 times, you can win the game. And
Do you think that? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but
Yeah.
do you think that this line is better than the Jaguars was?
Yeah,
Do you think their defense is better?
who Philly?
Yeah, I don't think so.
whole defense. No.
Line,
no.
maybe?
I
Line
think,
maybe.
I think as a whole defense, Philly is slightly better than Jacksonville because Jacksonville still hasn't played together as a unit as long. Individually, if you look at the pieces Jacksonville has, I mean, Jalen Ramsey could be the best corner in the league.
Right.
Calais Campbell is one of the best pass rushers.
Miles Jack's a beast.
But as a unit,
Tayshaun Gibson, not bad either.
but Philly's
Boye
got,
gave up his first touchdown
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
and
Like,
Philly's got a more experience. I mean, Fletcher Cox is like the new Vince Wilfork. Malcolm Jenkins has been a very solid corner.
I think Jacksonville has more like standout guys that
Yeah,
catch your
that's
eye
what
on
I'm
their
saying.
own, but I think Philly has the better cohesive unit.
Yeah,
But I will say the Patriots O-line played really well yesterday.
they did.
Like, and so that's maybe their best game of the year. as the offensive line as a unit, I think probably their best game of the year, which when it mattered, which is big. But I still think like the Patriots O-line, as it has been for the past however many years, has always been susceptible to falling apart sometimes if you keep berating them. And I think the interior of the Philly line is better than the interior of the Jaguars line.
I think another potential thing for the Eagles that could give them a chance to win this game. Most times we see the Patriots in the Super Bowl, they're not playing against any of their former key players. This year they're playing against two of them, Chris Long and LeGarrette Blount. Chris Long can get by that O-line.
And if you think Belichick doesn't know that and isn't planning for that.
Blount was on and off the roster, though. I wouldn't necessarily consider him.
And Chris Long
won a Super Bowl with him.
Chris Long was a rotational player just like he is now.
Yeah, but he played really well.
I mean, I get what you're saying, that they were still in the rooms, they were still in the meetings, which is the thing. But if you think Bill Belichick doesn't know
I don't
that.
think that bothers Bill Belichick.
No,
right. He's
it's
like,
not going to bother him.
Yeah, it doesn't bother him, and he's probably already made 30 new plays that those guys, just yesterday probably made them. Not to mention a whole season, knowing that Philly was probably the best team in the NFC conference, and that they would see them in the Super Bowl, and so he definitely planned for it.
Yeah, I just think everyone's already jumping. Tom Brady's going to crush Philly. It's going to be an easy win.
I don't think they're going to crush.
It's just
them.
You never have a Patriots Super Bowl that's a blowout.
In all fairness to Philly, I also thought Minnesota was going to kill him.
I thought Minnesota was going to win too.
So, I mean, I honestly was saying yesterday that if Minnesota won, I think they easily win the Super Bowl, because I don't think you're beating a team like that at home with that defense.
Right. Yeah.
But I think at this point I wouldn't say a layup for the Patriots, because it's not going to be a layup. Obviously, it's a very good Philly team, but I don't know. I think it's 2 touchdowns.
But that defense also gave up however many points to Nick Foles. So
I mean that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, if Nick Foles can get some big plays, it could be a shootout. It's either going to be a shootout or it's going to come down to a couple long kicks, being as that it's indoors. And I'm sure the NFL breathed a huge sigh of relief when New England won, because if it was Jacksonville against Philadelphia,
Philly's a big market.
Philly's a big market,
especially they love their football.
they do.
I know Philly.
Those
New England
videos were awesome.
Philly versus
videos
Philly v
sweet.
Boston. You always want to see a Philly v Boston matchup. I mean, Red Sox, Phillies, Flyers, Bruins is a big time NHL rivalry. Sixers, Celtics, obviously. Patriots, Eagles is always a good game. They usually play last time the Pats played the Eagles was 2015. Sam Bradford beat them. Brady was playing that day, so Eagles actually have the series advantage, mainly since the Patriots were the laughing stock of the NFL from the 70s to the mid-90s once Drew Bledsoe got there.
I'm going to say the Eagles cover. Was it 5 and
5.5 right now. It's going to change.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'll say it's 1 score.
What else? What do we expect, though, from the other stuff from the Super Bowl? Good commercials, good halftime.
There's going to be a real good Dilly Dilly commercial. I can feel that.
Well, did you see the one yesterday?
Very
so
good.
they're going to do the TV Continued on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. I agree with you.
Halftime show, I don't have many high expectations of.
Who is it again? JT. And who?
We don't know. It's probably going to be a couple guys that are going to pop on.
Yeah.
Bruno. I'll say Bruno.
Bruno? I'd be cool with that. I wouldn't be mad at some
Bruno's already done it twice.
Yeah, but he's awesome.
Yeah, but he's awesome.
Well, I like
straight electricity.
I mean, I like the solo halftime show. I wasn't a fan of him popping in with.
I like both.
I could
Bruno's
see
awesome.
like Camila Cabello come in. Maybe there's gonna
She
be
has one song.
I know, but there's gonna be
No,
some
that's
new
not true.
people.
Don't hate on Camilla.
No, I don't. But
She's got some heat.
There's gonna be a one hit. Like Selena Gomez could come on. Kendrick might pop in here and there.
it's a weird,
some wild predictions.
Selena's
I know.
a weird pick. I could see Kendrick.
If Janet Jackson I'm I'm sure there's a betting line in Vegas. Does Janet Jackson show up?
No chance she shows up.
You put $1 on Janet Jackson popping up at the halftime show, you're gonna be a millionaire by the end of the Super Bowl.
What if JT and Britney Spears walk out in the Canadian tuxedos together?
That would be amazing.
There you go.
I somehow
Give me
feel
that,
I
please.
somehow feel like.
Do you think we get a Jay-Z appearance?
I was gonna say Quavo.
Quavo.
Give me
Not all of
three
them. I don't think it'll be all three of
I can
them
see
for
all
some
three of them.
reason. Just in my head, for some reason, I could just see Quavo popping up.
Well, they better be actually.
Jay-Z
singing
would be
at the same
sick.
time.
Give me the Tupac hologram.
Like that too. I also love the Janet Jackson Revenge. That would be amazing.
I think we're in for a good Super Bowl. Also, Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth and Michelle Tafoya are probably going to call a great game.
Thank God it's not Romo. Romo stunk in that last game.
He did.
Yeah.
He didn't even speak in English for half of it.
I think
Shout
I saw
out.
one video on
Hold
Twitter
on.
where it was like 15 seconds of him just like
We're winning tonight.
Straight gibberish.
Illinois is winning this game right
Illinois is
now.
winning tonight.
Shout out Eli. Somebody hop onto the Illini Drive
baby.
Twitter and retweet Eli's video. There's a video.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Of Trent and LaRon, and it looks like Tijon's out there.
Yeah, Tijon's out there.
Tijon's out there breaking news. We're breaking news out here, folks.
Yeah.
They're hyped, and someone else is out there. I can't see who it is.
Illini are winning tonight.
They're winning.
They're doing like a little one.
I need to know what song that is. though.
Hopscotch chicken dance is how I would describe it.
buddy,
All right, Dad.
buddy,
Calm down.
folks.
I can't see the video. I got to give him some
It's-
sort of frame of
keep it
reference.
real.
It's electric.
real.
Go follow
Folks-
Elias Schuster.
folks-
See the video.
Folks, it is lightning in an 8-second video.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty-
need to know what song this is right now.
They're getting pumped. They're getting ready for the game. And if you want to watch the game at home, go on Fox Sports 1. It starts at 8 p.m. Central Time. If you can't watch at home, it'll probably be on Fox Sports Go. Illinois hosting the
I love it.
6th-ranked Michigan State Spartans, trying to win their first conference game this season and their first men's basketball conference win since hosting Michigan State last year in the beginning of March.
Illinois by 100.
We're going to head off to the game. Jake's going to go ahead and watch it at home, have some fun doing that. We're going to head over to State Farm Center. We're just going to have fun watching the game, no matter the result. So for Tommy, for Jake,
I'm so
for Will,
happy we saw that video.
I'm Maury Benatar. Thank you for listening to Illini Drive here, brought to you by the Illinois Fighting Illini. For tickets and info, go to fightingillini.com or call 1-866-ILLINI-1. Be sure to tune in for another edition of Illini Drive tomorrow at 6 p.m. right here on WPGU 107.1.